Hey everyone, happy Monday. Just wanted to share something that was on my heart. I was thinking about the different response that Moses had to adversity, and difference between that and the children of Israel and how they responded to different things. We know the story of the Lord bringing them out of Egypt, and then they're in front of the Red Sea, and Pharaoh and his armies are coming towards them, and they're like, questioning why God brought them out there to die. And Moses responds differently, and he responds really in faith. He knows that the Lord's going to bring them out of the situation. He asked the Lord for strategy. It doesn't mean he didn't have any fear at all, but he knew the Lord was going to somehow make a way. And the reason why they had two different responses is because Moses many times would, he spent time with the Lord. He got to know God, and so throughout, on the journey to the promised land, we see different times where the children of Israel are complaining or thinking that God abandoned them or forgot about them, and they didn't know the character and nature of God. They didn't spend time with the Lord. They just knew the miracles, but they didn't know his ways. They didn't know his character. But Moses spent time with the Lord and knew his character and nature, and he knew God wouldn't just bring them out there to die. And so I'm thinking about that story, and I think about just anyone that I know in general that maybe is a believer who maybe is more carnal or more lukewarm, or they just don't really spend much time with the Lord, and how their response to adversity is different than somebody who's constantly in the Word, constantly in prayer, always spending time in the secret place every day, just really getting to know the Lord, getting to know his character, getting to know his ways, getting to know his nature. Their responses, they can be dealing with the same exact situation, but their responses are completely different, because one, again, it just has a very nominal relationship with the Lord, and the other has gotten to know really the ways of the Lord, gotten to know his heart. And so whenever adversity happens, they don't say, why did you bring us out here to die? Have you abandoned us? Why this? They respond in faith. It doesn't mean they don't ever have thoughts of fear, or that they don't ever get anxious at all. But most of the time they respond totally different. And then you can even have someone who spends so much time with the Lord and they go through something really horrible and tragic, and you can have someone who's like a nominal believer who doesn't spend much time with the Lord, and they go through just a small thing and they begin to cave just through this small event, and so you begin to compare the two, and you realize, as someone spends time with the Lord, spends time in the Word, and getting to know the heart of God through his Word, getting to know the heart of God through what he says to them in the secret place, all those different things, they can respond to trials of life a lot differently. And so I want to encourage you with that today. If you feel like there's trials or things that you're going through, and it's harder, or it's bothering you more than you feel like it should, or you feel like you're just caving in fear, or you're blaming God for these situations, I just want to encourage you, spend some time in worship, spend some time in prayer, spend time in the Word. We live in the end times. Some of these days there's great things happening, but simultaneously there's really hard things happening. And so we need to be spending time with the Lord and cultivating that oil with the Lord. And we want to be like those 5 wise virgins, and not like the 5 foolish who have not been spending time with the Lord. And so as I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to myself. We just need to spend more time with the Lord so that we're prepared for whatever lies ahead. Just like Moses was always prepared. He always had faith that the Lord was going to get them through, that he was going to provide some way, even when it seemed impossible. We can respond like him, and we don't have to be like the children of Israel who blame God and say, why did you let this happen? Why did you bring us out here to die? Why this? We can respond just like Moses and say, Lord, I know this is a hard situation, but I know you have a strategy somehow, and I know you're going to bring me through. So I hope that encourages you today, and I hope you have a blessed day.